So do the timing belt on a 94 Honda Accord EX with a F22B1 vtec engine. First, you need to unplug the alternator. Move that out of your way. Then loosen the power steering pump. There's a bolt here, and there's a bolt down there too. And you need to remove this belt. And then after you do that, loosen the alternator so you can get the alternator belt off. And to get the alternator off, to loosen it, there's a bolt down there. It's kind of hard to see what's there. Make sure you loosen the upper bolt on the alternator before you try to loosen that lower one. I had to take this one out anyway because it's seized. And once you get that belt off, you need to get this pulley off so that you can remove this plastic cover that covers the timing belt. You're also going to need to remove this motor mount so that the belt can be pulled out of there, and so you can get the new belt in. To do that, you just support the engine from underneath with a jack or something, and get some sockets and take this mount off. Easy way to get that bolt to come all the way out, just take some of these, put it in there, and pry it out. Alright, this bolt is so stuck I've had to get a 3/4 inch drive ratchet set up with a 19mm socket for it. So we'll see how this works. Alright, about time. One of these setups will get any bolt or nut loose. These things are awesome. And once that bolt is out, you can just pull the pulley right off. And right away, take this little key out of there and put it in a safe spot, so that you don't lose it. Damn, that's a big one. So the way you align everything is you're gonna need to put the keyway back in, and use this main pulley and use it to turn everything that you need to, so that the keyway lines up with that notch up there. The balance shaft pulley. Alright, fucking hell. The cam pulley gets lined up with this arrow and this little square bit coming up. It gets lined up with the square bit that's in there. Which you can see it better if I take that off. There are also two marks on the outside of the pulley. I don't know if you can see them or not, but they're there. And they line up with the edge of the valve cover. So then realigning the balance shaft belt and pulleys, there's going to be a notch there that gets lined up with that notch, and a mark on the pulley that faces that way. Now for the rear balance shaft pulley, there's a notch that gets aligned to this mark on the block. And the main balance shaft drive pulley will basically be automatically aligned at top dead center with this keyway. So all these alignments I'm telling you are top dead center alignments. So then all you have to do is get your belts back on there, make sure everything's all lined up. It's not really that hard, but you gotta work with it a little bit. Of course, you can loosen the tensioner, and that'll be a lot easier to do it that way. So now the timing belt's aligned. I did that without removing the tension, or without untensioning the tensioner. All you do is get this all lined up here. Rest this pulley on top of this. Put the belt over the pulley, and then get it onto the cam. Then you can take your keyway and tap it in there. Now to install the balance shaft belt, all you gotta do is line up your marks like I said before. Get the belt on. Now as long as those two are lined up, you can take this keyway out and you can kind of wrap this belt around this pulley and turn the pulley until the belt's on. Realign the thing, and once you have it on there, it's gonna seem like it's all not lined up, even if this is lined up here. But all you do, spin it backwards, 1 revolution, and now I have these notches lined up, as you can see. So then, put the keyway back in, and you're good. So now that everything is aligned, just stick your main pulley back on and use your tool to turn the engine by hand about 2 or 3 turns, just to make sure that everything's alright before you put it all back together and start it up. Also keep in mind that your crank spins at a different revolution than your at a different rate than your cam. So even if you get back to top dead center on your crank, your cam is either going to be the timing mark on your cam pulley is either going to be straight up or straight down. So just keep that in mind. So once you get your plastic back on, it's extremely hard to do, but it's doable, as you can see. Stick your main pulley on and torque this bolt to 181 foot-pounds. Just use your tool, stick it in there so that the engine doesn't spin. When you're done torquing that, leave this there so that you can torque this. I'm not sure what the torque specification is for this. I couldn't find anything about it, but I'm going to torque it to 30 foot-pounds. If you've only taken the top of the timing belt off for some reason, there's another alignment mark on this pulley, and you align it with this. There's 3 marks in a cluster, and then there's 1 mark like above them. So you line up that lone mark with this. It should be painted white, but there's no color on mine. Whoops. I forgot to put the spark plug back in. So it seems like the fuel relay was, this car sat for like 2 years, so the fuel relay was probably just sticking. Now it's working fine. Of course it's going to burn off all the greasy fingerprints and whatnot.